All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd also like to give double honors to my elders, bishops, and apostles of Great Millstone that do well. And I would like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, to the hopeful elect in the 1/3. And Adawan Ratazah, this lesson will be edifying as well as exhorting to the sincere sheep of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. And Tawa Abanawa Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Rakakwadash for giving me the inspiration to do this lesson. And as the title reads, personal testimony on buying silver. Okay. And this happened, I want to say about 2 years ago. Okay. And I wanted to bring this out because I had checked it, but Elder Apostle Tahar had mentioned how silver now is about $50. Let me actually show you that real quick. So if any of you brothers out there and any of you few sincere sisters took heed years ago, all right, you'd have yourself a nice lump sum of money. Okay. So we had took heed. Okay. We as a camp and brothers put their money together and we all individually bought our portions of silver. Now I would recommend buying anywhere from $100 to $200 worth, but back then that would at least got you 5 to 6 coins. But now, say you spend 100, you might get 2 coins or 2 ounces. I'll say, okay. So it's like I believe they call it brick and mortar stock. Let me actually look that up real quick. That's the kind of stock I'm into. What is brick and mortar stock? I think that's what it means, or I think that's how you say it. But basically, it's you physically having it. Brick and mortar stock can refer to shares of companies that own physical stores or the physical goods sold in those stores. Exactly. So you have people that invest in the stock market, but they just have shares. Okay. You can have shares in Apple, shares in Google, but they don't physically have any of that product or business. So I like buying things of precious metals so that you can physically have it. And the reason why I say that, because it can be used on, certain situations to get certain things, in a pinch or in a bind. So the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm building up this testimony. And real quick, let me get this one. This is Proverbs 22:3. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and punish. Now, one thing that I like to always push for brothers, I like to exhort, is to have physical currency. You should have physical currency. Okay. You should have physical currency. I'll say this as a brother. You would be stupid to always keep all your so-called money, to keep these Federal Reserve notes just up in the air, up in chime, up in your banks, up in your phone. Okay. Because something simple as a power outage in your city. All right. I've watched people react when entire streets had no gas. I've watched how people react when entire cities or cities or neighborhoods run out of electricity. Okay, and people panic very easy. So the reason why I think it's very wise, as Elder Apostle Tahar had mentioned, is because in a certain situation, okay, the stock market crashing, the dollar collapsing, power outage, you would at least have some means of money to buy or get little things here and there, little kind of supplies. Now we understand that we're not going to be able to buy our way into the kingdom. Proverbs 11:4, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivered from death. But the point is to be prudent, to be wise, to see the evil that's coming, and the rest of these people are going to be stuck like Chuck. Okay, because you got all these people that are now pushed into this digital market, and all their finances and resources are tied up in electronics. So now that I said all that, I want to give my quick testimony. Then I want to give some more scriptures. So years ago, we all invested. We all got some silver. Now, held on to it, put it in a baggie, put it in some pants and just tucked it away, almost literally forgot about it almost, right? So certain situations happened, I want to say like 2 years ago. And, we were just hurting. We were down on our luck. The bills was taking money. This was happening. Things were just happening. So the brother in our camp, Karataza, he had mentioned, he said, hey, we got that silver. And I completely forgot. I'm like, oh, shit, we do got silver. So we ended up putting the silver together and reselling it back to a precious coin dealer. And the money that we got for it doubled, almost tripled than what we originally paid for it. And it got us as a camp out of a situation. Okay, so taking heed to the elders, taking heed to brothers and what they're saying, you may not see it in the moment, or you may not be in a position to where you're going to need to apply that exhortation. But that exhortation later on, you could find yourself in that same situation, and taking heed to that can deliver you from certain things. So I highly recommend to get on board with that. To get on board. Like I said, when we bought it, it was like 23 per ounce. Okay, when we got it, it was like $23 an ounce, and now look at it, 50. So if we didn't have a situation, and we would have held on to that brick and mortar, that money, okay, we would have probably quadrupled our money if we turned it in. Okay, so this is a wise thing. Now, like I say, now, so imagine if it's $50 now, imagine it a couple months from now. Okay, and the only reason I'm bringing this out for brothers and sisters is because in a situation of a power outage, like, look, I asked this, I said, if the dollar collapsed, which we're waiting on that, we're waiting on this, we're waiting on the Great Reset. Okay, and I don't want to, I'm gonna keep this here. I hope it continues. I hope, because this is a beautiful situation to lead to financial woes that we're banking on for Babylon to finally switch over to the beast system to introduce the world to the MOTB. And this is why John said he saw people buying and selling. So we hope that this happens. So right now, as you can see, it's day 11, 15 hours and 40 minutes and counting. And I just saw a news break that certain welfare is having insufficient funds. So you have people that are banking on this system. So they don't have their own physical money. They don't carry their own physical cash, currency, coins, gold, silver. So when you start pulling the rug from people that are sleeping on it, they're going to be completely asked out. And then that's when panic's going to set in, or just something simple as a power outage. I remember a few months ago, there were certain sheep on the comment board saying, hey, I'm in a city and we don't have power. So you could invest in this silver, which that really is true riches outside of wisdom, of course. But let's go to Genesis 13. Okay, true riches is not the physical currency. Look, Genesis 13. And 2, and Abram was very rich in cattle and silver and in gold. So true riches is wisdom, and applying wisdom, it will be wise to not only have physical currency, okay, physical cash, but also if you can afford it, get you some silver. I'd love some gold. I would, but if the Lord allows it. And like we say, it's we're not looking at this to buy our way through Jacob's trouble, but the beginnings of certain aspects of that trouble, as far as power going out, dollar collapsing, just certain things like that. Like, I'll just say this, okay, any of you brothers out there that got all your money on your card, what if the ATMs go down? And then what if the power goes out? What are you going to buy? How are you going to get gas? And another thing I would say, if you have a car, try to always keep it on full. So when you do go buy gas, the most you're spending is $20 because you're not a quarter tank empty. You're a quarter tank full. Okay. So there's little things like that is very wise to carry and conduct yourself, because as these fools pass on, okay, like it says in Proverbs 22, and are punished, that's because they're going to be the ones that got all the money on the card, their Amazon carts full. They just are in a la land banking on this system, but they don't realize that soon this system is going to reset. And when the system resets, everything that's with it resets, just like a video game. All that saved progress is now gone. Okay. Now, let me see what I was going to give you. Okay, I said if the dollar collapsed, because I've been trying to do more hypothetical questions, because you got to train this. You got to train this demon, Babel GPT, because chat means Babel. I don't know if I told you, brothers, that. I might have, but let me just show you that since I mentioned it. real quick. Just see, look, babble, confusion. All right. So I use this. All right. And I gotta train it. So I said I got a hypothetical question. Hypothetical question. I said if the dollar set would having physical because just think about like in a movie, all everything's going on, people are panicking, but they're still trying to maintain a normal civic society. You're still going to have stores up, you're still going to have people. Like I remember when I was a young lad, I experienced power out in a week down to the grocery store and the lights were off, and obviously at that time only cash or paper checks were available. But that's another thing. How can you couldn't use a paper check. So physical currency in the beginning of this reset will be king on scale at a global large scale. This is why the middle class is being weeded out, so corporations can step in and delegate what's not accepted. This is why in these movies of end times, Demolition Man, Taco Bell was the face of restaurants. What other movie did I just watch? Idiocracy. You had corporations take over. So small mom and pop businesses are basically being weeded out. But in the midst of a panic, the first day, second day, if you already don't have certain supplies, you using physical currency now trumps anyone who's outside the store trying to use a stupid ass iPhone, trying to use a stupid ass card, and it doesn't work, because there is a reset coming that's going to transition to all digital currency. So in the beginning of that, there will be a small resistance, and that's where you can capitalize. Hey, I got this silver. Hey, I got this. See, it says, I said, if the dollar collapsed, would having physical or silver or gold help for a little while, since everyone basically has digital currency using phones and debit cards to pay off. So if the system shut down, would those with physical cash be better off? That's a good and realistic what if. See, we are about realistic what ifs. Unlike dumbass women, unlike dumbass couples, unlike dumbass people in the world, we actually are a living sacrifice. Our intelligence that's been bestowed upon us makes us have a very, very small circle, because people don't want to hear the what ifs that are about to happen. This is 1 Corinthians 7:31, and they that away. So we're here using everything. We're here to use it, not abuse it. We're here using it. Okay. We're here to use it. Let me show you the NLT real quick. All right. That's why we can't get too attached with anything. Things may feel good. It might be nice, but at the end of the day, we have a constant, sober mind in all things. Okay. Those who use things of the world should not become attached to them, for this world as we know it will soon pass away. And I'll also add this for brothers out there. I'm just speaking as a brother, as brothers out there in camps, you should be having, some kind of savings, some kind of physical savings, the kwakwada shakwa, the church's money, the office money. You should have money. Okay, because at any minute, certain things can happen. This is how we're applying the law to showcase wisdom. Okay, all of our money is not on our outfit. All right. We live simple, minimal lives, and, we're able to operate and sustain ourselves going through the midst of these people that are just running, thugging, effing, they're doing, they're out here just bugging, man, tripping, wilding. All right. And when that power goes out, or any kind of situation takes place, or just a system go down, a cyber attack, everything is everybody. If there's two humans speaking and there's a transaction, there's going to be a computer or technology between the two. So a cyber attack, some kind of data gets leaked, you're going to look like Superman, because everybody's going to be stressed out, going through all their cards, swiping, tripping, bugging. And now here it is, you blow the dust off some money. You got a couple of ounces of silver or whatnot that could get you, any kind of resources you may need, outside of obviously praying. Okay. So it says, if the US dollar suddenly collapsed, or if the digital payment system went offline, banks, ATMs, debit, credit, mobile pay, then yes. See, Yes. All right. That's why they always show you in movies people stepping on money like I Am Legend. Okay. And this was just a few years ago. And all this did was allow me and the brother to get out of a situation that we were in financially. Okay. So we invested in silver as we took heed from the elder Pastor Har, right? We invested in it, held on to it. And then when a situation arose, like I said, the brother Kratazal mentioned, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. And bam, went down, turned into gold, and we were straight. You know, we were able to get out of a situation. See? So then now looking at that, using that, all right, you got to think about the time. Should be very resourceful in certain things. You know, it's very heavy. Excuse me, I got to plug this laptop in. It's very heavy on my spirit to express to brothers, you know, to show yourself as men. You know, a lot of us grew up without father figures, so this truth is what turned us into men. You know, whether you like it or not, this truth is going to turn you into a man. Okay. And one thing that I like to do is I like to you know, when we can, go out to the woods, maybe start a fire, cook, have dinner out there, you know, be out in that essence. I mean, the scripture says better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious woman. And the main woman that we have to deal with is this whore and all her little fucking chitlin children running around, you know, shit. Me, it's very peaceful to separate from society at times and use resources that are readily available and to maintain ourselves, you know, for a couple hours in the woods. You should be able to know start a fire. You should be able to have a shelter. You should be able to step outside and survive, man. Okay, especially us as men. All right, and now we live in a concrete jungle, you know. So being able to you know, make things happen when nothing else can happen, you know. So it says people with physical currency or tangible assets like silver, brick and mortar, and gold. That's why people are going to be ripping off jewelry. Here, take my ears, take my earrings, bracelets, Abdullah. You know, it says gold would have see, this is all we're talking about is temporary advantage, especially in the first phase of chaos. That's all it is. That's all we're saying. All I'm just saying is it'd be wise to jump on this now, because it's only going to get higher. And when I get some extra cash, I'm going to specifically use it to spend for silver and then put it away. Okay. Put it away for a rainy day. And a rainy day is approaching, man. Okay. And the average person, they're not thinking like the average woman is not thinking like this. So you got to think outside the box, man. Okay. Don't be caught up in just chasing pussy. Think outside the box. Get out of la la land. All right. Actually sit back and realize what's going on around you. Okay. Because I always tell the brother lately, I'm like, man, if the deal goes down, why would we need to go anywhere? You know, we're just going to stay in a house, pray, you know, wherever you're at, you might just need to sit there. I think they call it bug in. You know, it'd be wise, man. It'd be wise to have canned goods. Like, I buy, obviously I don't like eating out of fucking tuna cans, but what are you going to do? You just pray over it. You know, a tuna can has over like, I think 18 to 33 grams of protein, and that's one can. You know, so like me, what I like to do is if I'm going to the grocery store, I like to take $200. Okay. You spend $50 on canned goods, $50 on perishables, and $75 to $100 on meat. Okay, so break it down like that, you know, in your walk, in your own personal walk, carry and conduct yourself as a spiritual sharp utensil. Okay, it's not, don't be just frivolous and just, you know, you're just crowd surfing through America. Nah, man, we got to conduct and carry ourselves like men with prudency. Okay, let's see. Let me get this for you real quick. Proverbs 6 and 6, it says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways. Yes, sluggard, wake out of sleep. Our salvation is nearer than when we believe. And the first phase is where you're going to see money and silver be able to be used or bartered in that situation, because that's another thing too. A lot of people don't know what we know. So people aren't going to be thinking the world's about to end. They're just thinking how to survive out of this situation, or when will this situation end. They don't know this place is going to get nuked to hell and back. This is why the people around you don't understand the urgency. They don't understand why you move the way you do. They don't understand why you think the way you think. They don't understand it because they can't handle knowing their fucking world is about to end, man. And that's something that we have on our shoulders. And Yahweh Shemel Shai has blessed us with the mental fortitude to be able to handle that and still smile in you fucking people's faces, okay? It says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. It's about being wise, which having no guide, see, or no guide, overseer, or ruler. Yeah, ain't no department manager over the ant. It's moving in the spirit. So you need to move in the spirit, okay? It says, provideth her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest. See? So it's very wise to get a couple things. We're not obviously thinking this is going to deliver us, but what it's doing is it's going to prepare us potentially for the first phase, as it said, of chaos. Okay, first phase of chaos. See that? And all the stores are going to be full. All the gas stations are going to be lined up. Just imagine it. Imagine. Okay, let's actually use chat real quick. We don't need to read all this shit. Oh, look at that though. CBDC. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, I'll maybe look at that later. But like this out. Show me a hypothetical scenario how people would react to not being able to buy with their phones or bank cards in a disaster situation. How would stores and gas stations look? Look at this. I can tell you. I just want to see what it's going to say. All right, we can tell you. Here's a hypothetical disaster scenario might unfold if suddenly no one could pay with their phones, debit, or credit cards, meaning the digital payment network was down nationwide. Yeah, cyber attack can do that, okay? And then that could lead to a reason for the Great Reset. We need AI to be involved to protect us. Now we're going to have a secure digital currency. Remember, the first Great Depression produced the Social Security card, okay? So just think about those things, all right? And I hope this continues because this is a great way to understand or see how the scenarios are going to play out economically, financially, and socially in Babylon, pertaining to people, money, and business. Okay, so I hope it continues. I really do. I hope it does. All the right ingredients are there for this prophetic plate, and we're ready to fucking eat, man. Okay, it says the blackout begins. See, and this could just happen to a state or a city near you. All right, situation. But look. See, I didn't say that. Look, a major cyber attack or solar event disables payment systems, banks, servers, and mobile apps go offline. Right. You can use Chime, Cash App. Now, what happens, brothers, if you've been using Chime, you know, this whole time, and then boom, just like that, all of a sudden you get a thing, you can't have access to your money. This is why I always take all my so-called money out when I get paid, and I leave just enough for any kind of bills or purchases that I want to make online. Other than that, I take all that shit off. If you're using Amazon, use a burner card, use a Cash App card. Stop allowing everything to have access to your main source of income. Okay, you gotta be wise. All right. A major cyber attack or solar event disables payment systems, bank servers, and mobile apps go offline. ATMs stop working. I can literally picture in my mind right now how people are reacting when the vid situation happened and I was working through that. Dumb fucking white people were bugging, man. They basically wanted me to do illegal shit so that they could still do this. I said, I can't do that. I said, I can't do that. I could get fired. You do it. So I watch people. Okay. I watched people react when all the gas pumps were down. I watched that shit with my own eyes, man. Okay. We see how you people will react. All right. What Joker say? They'll eat themselves. Okay, they will eat themselves. What Ellen Jones say? I will eat your ass. Okay, so just want to put this out there. It's just on my spirit to exhort brothers, and Fusion sisters, take heed to this, man, because everyone else is in fucking la la land, man. Okay, and especially the woman. That woman wants to keep you brothers out of the spirit. She wants to keep you in Babylon. She wants to keep you in the world. She wants to make you think everything's gonna be okay because her fucking ass can't handle it. Okay, but we can. So Brakatha Yahweh Shemel Shai, we will be the bad guy. But remember, woe to them that call evil good and good evil. So really, we're the good guy. All right. It says immediate reaction. Look, confusion. At first, people assume it's a short outage. Well, maybe it'll come back online. See? So years ago, we took heed. All right. Years ago, we took heed and bought silver, and we ended up getting in a situation. And the brother Kradazar said, "Hey, let's sell that silver." We sold the silver, and we was back up. See? So now imagine that same situation, but power is out, cyber attack, something attack, whatever kind of situation. Okay, then you may need to get something that you don't have. Now you can go get it while others can't. See? It says at first people assume, yeah, you fucking dummy. I'm gonna assume this will all be okay. It's a short outage line, and that's where we're gonna flourish. Okay, we're gonna flourish in trouble. We flourish in adversity. We flourish, okay, in bitter. While these people, they're experts in sweet and happy. We are experts in pain. We are experts in adversity. We are experts in disastrous situations. So call on Yahweh Shem Shai for the chastisement and helping us become the men that we are and still growing day by day. Okay. So Barakatah Yahweh Shem Shai for that, man. It says lines form at gas stations and stores as cashiers apologize, saying, sorry, cards aren't going through. This is just the first phase, people. Okay. This is a potential scenario that could play out for a great reset for a digital system to come online. See? And like I said, it'd be wise. You brothers, you live on your own, brothers that live together, put your money together. Put your fucking money together, okay? Render under Caesar, put your money together, go to the grocery store, spend $50 in canned goods, buy tuna, buy rice, buy beans, and just put it up. Okay. It says, and we've done that. Okay. We've done that. It says a few people have cash. Who's the few? Us. Because 80 to 90% of US daily transactions are digital. Most customers only have cards or phones. Boom. So what happens when cards and phones aren't accepted in the first phase? See? And then now we're back online. See? Atmosphere. Grocery stores get crowded and tense. People try to negotiate. Can I Venmo you later? But networks are dead. Managers begin closing registers after realizing they can't verify sales. Look at that. But you could walk in and you could say, hey, here's a $10 bill. I want to perk, blah, 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 blah. See? In a scenario. That's all I'm saying. So as a personal testimony, we've actually bought brick and mortar, okay, brick and mortar stock, which is physical, and we purchased silver and it delivered us out of a certain situation that we were in. Okay. In this walk, we've been down to 1 pack of chicken. Okay. In this walk, we've been down to $1. It don't mean that brothers don't take care of brothers. You know, we all are just showing ourselves as men, and there's just certain scenarios or things that happen in this walk, and you as a man need to get yourself out of it. Okay. So now let's go back. Tents. Yep. Look, day 2. See? A realization at gas station, lines stretch for blocks. That's why I said if you have a vehicle, it would be wise for you to fill your entire tank up, and then your daily commute, weekly commute, whatever you got to do, when you see your gas tank a quarter full, go to the gas station and put $20 in, and now it remains full. And I believe actually a car that runs on full rather than empty is better for that car's efficiency. Don't be that Jake out here always running on E, okay? So, and now think about that. People that are just in la la land, bitches driving around with Ultimos where their legs open, vaping. That bitch, they're not ready. These people ain't ready. They run around with a gas tank on E, and Jake say E mean enough, They run around with their phone, their battery. I always like to do is keep my battery full. I got to charge it. Keep my battery full. Keep the gas tank full. Just keep certain things up to par. So when something happens, you're not in a oh shit situation, like when shit hits the fan. Only stations accepting cash can operate. Many attendants refuse large bills, so have small bills. Have just 20s or run out of change. Scuffles break out. See? Scuffles break out. What's that? Second measure is 15. Neighbor, they show because of the lack of bread. Look, cash only, no sales, system down. Day 4 to 7, desperation. Law enforcement people deal with it. Look, see, looting, shooting, everything's going to go nuts. Suddenly the storehouses shall be found empty. Okay. So it would be wise. It would behoove you, okay, to have some form of resources as the squeeze gets tighter on the public of people so that Esau can funnel them towards a direction, which ultimately is going to be the mark. Okay. Ultimately will be the mark. Okay. Now let me see here. What else did I got for you? Oh, let's read this real quick. 1 Timothy 6:10, for the love. See, we don't love money. Okay. The love. Some people got money, but they just want to stack it and stack it and stack. No. There's nothing wrong with having a savings. There's nothing wrong with that. You should. But just to have money and not doing nothing with it, not doing nothing to better your current situation, that's foolish. That's frugal. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covet after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. See? So we're not out here just balling, getting it, but we are using money in a monopoly game setting. Okay, like I'll give you a good example. All right, I don't have no problem giving you what I know. So if I was playing Monopoly, you know what I would do? I would always collect my $200, but you know what I would put aside? I would put any money that I make from the property. So say I own Boardwalk, Baltic, St. James, all that rent, I would put that to the side. See? So it's all about knowing how to take this money and use it. All right, you take $100 and put it here. Take $200 and put it there. See? So you got to learn how to use money, okay? And in situations that we're getting ready to enter, this potentially could be a very same scenario that would play out, but could benefit you in phase one. Because after all, of course, it's always prayer and faith, but after that, we're relying what? On faith, on prayer, hope, and in the Lord at the end of the day. This is just us being prudent, utilizing the wisdom that's been bestowed upon us, taking heed to the exhortations that our elders, apostles, and brothers are giving us, and applying it in a real world setting wherever our church may be at. And that's what you should do. You know, if you want to. If you don't, hey, that's you. You know, every brother's situation is different. All I just wanted to do was I was finally able to look this up, because I mentioned it, but I didn't look it up. I like to look up before I say things, but I did believe when Elder Pastor Hart said it. So I said, well, let me look it up. And sure enough, now it's $50 per ounce. When we took heed and bought it, it was only $23. We spent like $150 each, tripled our money in a situation that we are in a dire need of, was able to use that money to get us out of that situation. Because remember, it says money is a defense. There it is. Let me end it off on that. I knew there was a precept I was looking for. Money is a defense. All right. Sometimes you got to talk until it comes out. It's just, that's just how the Lord set me up. Salakia. Ecclesiastes 7:12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. See? So we've been given the abilities of wisdom to carry us and apply using money to make it as a defense. So this is just a way for you to defend in the first phase of chaos, in the first phase of that trouble entering your city or town or state. See? So I just wanted to do a quick lesson on that, just a quick personal testimony. I'm going to keep this up. I pray this continues, just because every day this is affecting the financial system, and that's exactly what we need to happen. We need the financial system to be affected for this great reset. So I'm going to keep this here, and we're just going to continue to keep our eyes peeled. So I truly pray that this lesson was edifying. I pray that it was exhorting. I pray that Yahushai's sheep are being fed. You know, I pray that you brothers and few sincere sisters can take, you know, any of this knowledge, you know, build from it, add to it, you know, and we just continue to grow in the spirit before we get delivered out of here. So I just want to say, call halal abanawa Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to my bishops, elders, and apostles of Great Millstone that do group well. Peace and salutations to the Lord's elect. With that being said, shalom.